Chastity, the social media influencer and rockstar killer. Maria, from Miami. And Lucy, aspiring actress. Sydney, hip-hop lover and writer, so I'm told. And my quiet one, Mackenzie. Well, hello, ladies. I'm Bella.
Hey.
I have a question for everyone. Why do you think rich men cheat? Control.
I'm going home.
Don't go.
Attention.
You bring the total package to the table. You just need the right friends.
Are you my friend?
No, but you can be mine.
And power.
I stuck my neck out for you.
Thank you.
And I pulled the strings to get you onto this show.
Take all three away, and he becomes desperate.
So what's with the apples?
Well, it represents knowledge, wisdom, beauty, and power. Here, you will learn how to gain ownership of all.
I'm gonna send you the money for the ticket, and I already have your room set up at the Palms.
You do that, babe.
Because once you have possession of the apple, no man alive will have power over you.
You make it sound so easy.
Oh, it's not easy.
Brett, look, I'm sorry.
Save it. Save it.
I get no auditions.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
I get no callbacks.
I really need to get upstairs. They stole all my money.
I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but you're no better than the rest of us.
Right now they have a do not disturb until this afternoon. If they call you, great.
How is he gonna call me if he doesn't?
If not, charge it to the game.
Make no mistake, ladies. In order to succeed in this game, you must be willing to play it out till the very end.
This business is all types of savage.
What are you doing?
But if you follow my blueprint, I guarantee you will become a millionaire within the next 3 years. Possibly way earlier. So, are you ready to take that step?
Another day, another dollar. Ain't about money, don't you holla. 100 miles and racing, and that money conversation been my only motivation, yeah.
Up, y'all, this is Ry Nyree, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Catherine Nunez, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director and the Counsel on the IE Network.
Real Talk.
Hey, I'm Gina Lou, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hey, what's up? It's Logan Browning, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Real Talk.
Hi, this is Alana De La Garza, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, I'm Diane Franklin from Better Off Dead and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. You're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, this is Monique Dupree, and you are watching Real Talk with the Director on Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, I'm Stormy Maya, and you are listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
It's Vicky Judy, Orange is the New Black, and I'm here with Real Talk.
Yo, what up? This is Jay Ellis, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio. Keep it locked.
Hi, I'm Frida Parks, and you're listening to Real Talk Radio with the Director. Hey, I'm Issa Rae, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Nothing more, nothing less. What's going on? Welcome to another edition of Real Talk with the Director and the Jedi Council. I am the Director, and we will be with you for next 120 minutes or so. Real Talk is brought to you each and every Monday by B2S Media. We broadcast live via the World Wide Web on YouTube.com/IE Network TV, the IE Network, and Twitter, and the social network itself, Facebook, aka Meta, and what's it, Twitter, aka X. Like, which we're about to get off of Twitter. I'm not going on something called X. But anyway, thanks. Welcome back. We we appreciate you coming back, chilling with us, talking some ish about my beloved film industry. As we know, obviously, the writers slash Screen Actors Guild strike is still in full effect, is heating up even more. We bring you some updates on that. We got a couple other lists that we're kind of gonna touch on, just on some things there. And of course, we will talk. Unfortunately, we've had a couple of passings. Angus Cloud just came across the wire that Angus Cloud has passed away. 25-year-old actor who played Fez on Euphoria. One of my favorite characters, actually. Unfortunately, he's passed away. He was dealing with, mental health and dealing with depression. And he just recently lost his father, and just that took a big toll on him. So rest in peace, Angus Cloud. Also, Paul Rubens. Wow, there's a blaster from my childhood. Paul Rubens, aka Pee Wee Herman, has passed away. He's struggled with, I think he'd been battling cancer for a while. Wow, that's something, man. I tell you, when you see these people that you grew up watching and that was part of your childhood start to pass away, it hits home. I'm like, whoa, I'm getting up there. Because Paul Rubens was in his 70s, I think. And that brings back a lot of memories. I remember going to the theater watching Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And so that's a sad thing. And we're gonna, from Real Talk, of course, we're gonna shoot a R.I.P. to him and condolences to the families of both of the fallen actors. So that's another thing we'll talk about. We have a guest host today who will jump in and join the Jedi Council for tonight. Miss Ry Nyree is gonna be with us, and she is here with us. We're gonna be bringing her in a second, along with the rest of the council, and so we can get talking about all of this stuff that's going on. Not a lot going on, but it is a lot going on. It's weird. But I do want to talk about my main subject is the rise of AI, right? One of the reasons why the actors and the writers are striking. I came across some very interesting information that I want to share. But with the rise in AI, I have to say, this current generation that of consumers, the younger generation of consumers, if there's going to be a rise in AI, this would be the generation to do it with, because they're very accepted of things and not very hard to please. So, we'll talk more about what I mean by that. But I definitely have some interesting with Netflix, Disney some of the big companies, especially now with the strike going on, has made some really interesting advancements, and they are leaning towards the AI technology in the wake of this whole thing. So we'll get into it in a minute. I do the weekend recap, which is brought to you by BoxOfficeMojo.com for the weekend of July 28th through the 30th. Number 5 on the list is Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, made $10.6 million. bringing the total to 448 million. Now, as you know, the strike, which we'll talk about too, the strike is a big part of why this thing hasn't crossed the half a billion mark yet worldwide. It's made its money mostly international. Domestically, it's made 139 million, made 309 million internationally. So we'll talk about that, which is one reason why Tom Cruise was trying to get the union to let them promote the films. Sound of Freedom, number 4, made another 12.8 million, which is bring the total gross to 149 million. So now Sound of Freedom, which was definitely an independent film, it was a sleeper film because people were, nobody's talking about it. Still nobody's really talking about it except the money that it's making. I haven't seen one trailer from it. And well, why? Because of course why? It's about sex trafficking. And it almost seems like people don't want you to see the film. We talked about that before. We'll touch on it again, but it is people. I guess people are seeing the film, or are they? Who's buying the tickets? Are there actually moviegoers, or what? Haunted Mansion number 3 made 24 million this weekend, bringing their worldwide total to. It just opened this weekend, July 28th. It just opened the past weekend, so right now their worldwide total is $33 million. And number 2 is Oppenheimer, made 46.7 million over this weekend after opening last weekend. So that is on a nice pace. It's now at a worldwide total of 405 million. And Barbie is the number 1 movie in the country, in the nation, probably in the world. $93 million it took in over this weekend. That's domestically, people. And it brings the worldwide total to 780 million. Well on its way to $1 billion, as Margot Robbie predicted when she pitched the film. When they pitched the film, she predicted that they're well on their way to $1 billion, or that they would make $1 billion, and they are well on their way to that number. So, hey, man, that's what's up. Barbie on their way. So that is your weekend recap for the weekend of July 28th to the 30th on boxofficemojo.com here on Real Talk. You're watching and listening to Real Talk with the Jedi Council and the director. I'm the director. I brought my Jedi Council with me. Don't believe me? Well, here they are. Ralph, Ev, y'all in the building. What up?
What's going on, everybody?
What's up, people?
Yeah, man. So
I am so give cut Margot Robbie her extra check because I am so glad for all the people that talk shit about Barbie.
Margot Robbie predicted, when they pitched the film, she projected and predicted that it could make $1 billion. They're well on their way. I don't see them not getting there. And she was right. There you go. So Barbie
Very
is
right.
sweeping the nation.
I saw it today. I went to go see it today. I actually liked it. I knew I was gonna like it, but I really liked it. I really liked it.
That's what's up. I ain't seeing it, but that's all good. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, it's doing this thing, man. Apparently, it's doing this thing. But it's definitely, it seems like their marketing plan, the Barbieheimer marketing plan, is kind of working. Because it is working because Oppenheimer is approaching $500 million, and Barbie's approaching $1 billion. So that strategy worked. Not so much for Dead Reckoning, unfortunately. But it is what it is. So that's how it is. So let me bring in also our guest host for the night. Young lady, she hosts her own show, the Rap with Ry. She's a model and an actress, and she was actually supposed to be moderating our event that we didn't have, but it's all good. She's also an activist, so let's bring her in. Ry Nyree is in the building. What's up? Ree? And you're muted. Unmute yourself. Maybe I could unmute you. Hey. Oh, that was me. I tried to unmute you at the same time and I ended up muting you. Sorry.
See, I think you ain't really want me to come on this show. That's why you did that. You ain't really want me to be here.
Wow.
I hear you. Hey, what a coincidence. What a coincidence. We're in the same condo.
Background. Yeah, how that happen? But I got a bone to pick with you though.
What's up? Go ahead.
You got my name wrong.
I did? I got your name wrong? Wait a minute.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
My God! What did I spell it wrong? And did I spell it wrong? Or am I pronouncing it wrong?
You're gonna put them on blast. You're gonna put them on blast like that.
No. Oh, I pronounced it wrong. Wait, how's your name? What the hell? We done been on Conversations. You hosted my thing with the cast with Jamela. What the hell? You ain't correct me back then. I've been calling you this. I ain't
you
never
said it wrong back then.
I did.
I
must have been. This is all I've ever known your name to be. So please correct me.
You
now.
got the second part of it right. So the second part of my name is Nyree, but the first part is Ry, like rye bread without the E.
I don't think I've ever called you Ry. Never. You just never corrected me. You've never corrected me. Well, I apologize for that. I'm saying Miss Ry Nyree. I'm like, yo, I'm thinking Ry like Rihanna or Riri. I'm thinking, I'm like, okay.
I mean, as adorable as I am, like her, no, I'm joking. But I am cute. But
yes,
but no, I'm no Rihanna.
Wait, hold on. I gotta jump in on this.
Jump in, please.
West.
Yeah.
Her name is spelled R-Y.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you get Ry from? Where did the E come from?
I don't know where we. But Ry has the Ry, like I know, rye bread has an E in it at the end. So that's why I didn't pronounce it that. Yo, so I've been pronouncing your name for a couple of years.
I mean, it's a little different.
It's definitely different. Yeah. I've been pronouncing your name wrong for like 2 years because it was at least 2 years ago when we did the Jamela thing. Oh my God.
Yeah,
forgive me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tell your mama I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't want to, I don't want to be in her. I do not want to be in her path. I don't want that smoke. So tell her I'm sorry.
I will let her know.
Well, welcome.
Anyways.
Welcome, Ry. That was
you.
weird to me. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta say it. Oh, Miss Nyree, welcome.
Mm-hmm. Nyree is fine too. As long as you don't call me by my government.
Miss Nyree, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us and talking some stuff here on Real Talk. I want you to meet my co-host. I don't know if you ever did. My co-host Ralph and Kev. Now I pronounced y'all's name right? Is your name? Your name ain't Rolf.
No, you didn't. My name is Ray. My name is Ray. Get it right.
And your name isn't Keith, right? Guys. It's Kev.
No, it's Legion.
Okay. Legion. Well, you need to put that. You need to put that on your display.
I'm not from Earth. Where I am from, Legion is spelled K-E-V.
Okay, there we go. See what I got to deal with here?
Right.
Yeah, it's all right.
All right.
People get my name wrong all the time. They don't pronounce it wrong, but sometimes they say West. Not sometimes, all the time. They put a T at the end. West, Mr. West is in the building.
See, I don't do that. I got your name right.
Yes, you did.
There
That's
we
why
go.
you
I like that.
you
I like that.
yeah. He Mr. West is in the building. Yo, not East, but West. Blah, blah. I'm like, yo, Nick. I'm just like, just shut up. Where do y'all
love
see
it.
it? Nah, it's all good, Miss Nyree. I'm only saying that because I got it. Ry has to grow on me because I swear I've been saying your name wrong for 2 years. So now,
You the only one. You the only one. Well, you know what? Because I had to shorten it because my actual name is Ryshell. So to make it easier for people. And then as a little kid, my family members and stuff was calling me Ry. So then I kind of just stuck with Ryshell when I became a teenager. But then
Ryshaw, that's
as I
not
got
long.
older and got to the work field, yeah. But you got some folks that, want to call you Rachel, Rochelle. I
Oh,
had
why?
one
Because
lady
the
call me
way it's
Ryko.
spelled, it sounds like
She
it
called me
look. You
Ryko.
know, some people might think it's Rachel because the way it's spelled. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. He was like, "Oh, it's not." Yeah, but there's no A at the beginning of my name, so
exactly.
it is what it
All
is.
right. Well,
All good.
lesson
And
learned.
we good.
Lesson learned. 2 years of just incorrectness. Wow. Boy, do I feel like
Y'all
a
hear that?
mokes.
See how he do me any type of
As I feel like a mokes right
do
now.
me any type of
Well, at least she did it the right way. She could have waited till she met you in public
person.
and just punched you in the throat and like
Yeah.
my name is Rod. No.
Right in the jugular. Right in the jugular.
Oh my god. Oh, that's terrible.
Right in the jugular.
Boom. Boom. All right. Well, Miss Nyree, welcome to the show. So we'll start with the fact that I did mention at the top of the show that did anyone who here watched, if not all, Euphoria?
I've seen them all. So, what do you think of this background? What do you like my background?
Oh, you never saw it?
Yeah, I only saw 3 episodes, and then it just wasn't for me.
Right.
I don't know. Just
So
weird.
yeah, as I announced, Mr. Angus Cloud has passed away, and he played one of my favorite characters on the show. Actually, a character named Fez, and he was a drug dealer.
He was a drug dealer.
The drug dealer, yeah.
Yeah, he was a drug dealer.
Mm-hmm. But he had this thing about his way about him was just real laid back, nonchalant, almost like I don't know how he played the character because he kind of talked like that too, but it was just real slow flow type of dude. And yeah, he had a really good character, actually, one of my favorites on the show. So that sucks. And of course, Paul
Rubens. It has
Rubens.
something to do with mental health, right?
No, well, yeah, his when I read the article, it said, his I guess his representative or family that said, yeah, he dealt with the mental health, and he also dealt with drugs. Like he was one of there's a few characters on Euphoria that actually has drug problems. Like that's what the show's about. It's really the main character played by Zendaya is a drug addict. She's trying to be like a recovering drug addict who keeps falling off the wagon, or and it's just about her struggle in being sober, right? Her struggle with being sober, and it also, she's like in high school. It also highlights other high school characters. So the show overall deals with drugs, sex, like sexual assault and all types of stuff. It's really transgender, like it's really, I always use this word, it's really heavy handed, like in their delivery. So it's very graphic, and I mean aesthetically though, the way the show is shot, and it's beautiful. Like the way they shoot it, creatively, aesthetically. The show is very deep. It's already won multiple Emmy You know, it's had multiple
I'm
Emmy
gonna have to check
nominations.
that out. I haven't seen
Yeah,
that.
it's very, very, you know, it became a controversial type of show because of the content and the nature of it that they had. But it's very so the creator's name is Livingston. What's his first name? I can't remember his first name, but
Yeah,
he
about
is
Barry. It's not Barry.
It's not Barry.
It's his son. It's Sam.
Right.
Is it Sam?
Sam Livingston, yeah. And he is and he says that the main character that Zendaya plays is based on his life. So he's saying
wow.
Zendaya's character, who is, I mean, and I'm talking about, when I tell you she is a drug addict, I mean, wow. There's scenes in this show where she's experimented on every type of drug, to the point where she's such an expert at it almost, where there's a scene in season 2 where she's in like this closet or something with another drug addict, and they're taking drugs, and she's like, oh, I'm about to take this drug, and here's like a EpiPen or some shit she gave. She's like, you got to jab this into my heart in case I stop breathing. And like, whoa, what the
In her heart.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, you know, she gave him like a EpiPen or something. So if I stop breathing, if I stop breathing or whatever she said, you know, it may not have been an EpiPen, but it was some sort of thing where she's like, if my heart stops, jam it into my heart or whatever, and to bring me back. So, like, she's prepared to take that much drugs that she may actually OD and die.
Yeah, because it was fentanyl, and the only reason why she knew that was because in season 1, that the other drug dealer, that was her drug dealer supplier, had came and made her take fentanyl.
Yeah,
and she almost killed her.
Yeah, it almost killed her. So, but yet, from that scene, what I get out of it is she's that addicted, and she's prepared that she may flatline doing this. And since you're here with me, this is how you bring me back. It's like, yo, you're really willing to do that? That's scary.
Yeah, she's chasing, and it's not even just her addiction. Her addiction issue is the fact that she's dealing with some emotional mental stuff too. That's kind of sort of causing it. But she's natural, and the only reason why I can speak like this because I got 2 family members that were like this. One was my dad. My dad was an everyday drinker, and some people just enjoy getting high. She has a twofold thing going on. Like, my dad just liked to drink. He just liked to drink whatever, and he was burying some stuff. But Zendaya wasn't just burying stuff. She loved to get high. Then on top of loving to get high, she was chasing the high. So it was a twofold thing. Like, always chasing that next high. And what can I do to get higher? Like, oh, there's this. Oh, wow, there's something stronger than fentanyl. Let's do this.
Yeah, it's some real wild stuff in there, and it was almost seemed like every time they turned around, they were giving her an intervention, or she was getting ready to get an intervention. So, you know, she'd have interventions all the time, and
her drug dealer was even giving her an intervention.
Even the drug dealer refused to sell drugs to her anymore. He's like, I'm not selling you no more. And that's the gentleman who passed away. He played the drug dealer, and he was like, yo, no, you cannot. No, leave. You can't come here no more. She's like, please, I got money. He's like, Rue, I'm not selling you drugs no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, go home. Banging on the door, go. Yeah, that's bad when your drug dealer won't sell your drugs no more.
And blaming him. She's like, you sold this to me.
Right. Yeah, she tried to blame him, saying, you sold this to me. You got me like this. Now you blah, blah, blah. He's like, yo, I'm sorry, but I'm not selling you no more drugs. Like, I'm not going to be responsible for what happens to you. You're not dying off my drugs, basically. You know, so, yeah, but it is a very interesting show. It's very well written. And like I said, it is not, like Kev said, it ain't for him. It's not for everybody. It's very heavy handed on the sex, the you know, because these, even though of course these actors are adults, but they're portraying high school students.
Okay.
So the I guess the whole content of drugs and sex, and then you got abuse and all the stuff that's going on in it is very controversial because it's amongst young kids, supposedly, you know. But it's a very interesting watch. So if you get a chance to check it out, you may get through it, you may not.
That last episode of season 1, man, that was like a 6-box tissue cry, man. That was sad.
It's so
the last 15 minutes of that episode 1. It's like,
A
wow.
6 box.
Yeah, because you find in the last episode of season 1, you find out why she started taking drugs. Well, I don't know. I ain't gonna say because it would be a spoiler since you haven't seen it, so I'm not gonna say. But in that episode, in the last few minutes, you find out. Yeah. But in that last few minutes, you find out exactly why she takes drugs, why she looks the way she does, and why she is just so aloof to the world. It's all in like that last 15 minutes. You're like, damn, like I just want to reach out and give you a hug, honey, like something.
Yeah, and Zendaya's performance is phenomenal.
So good.
Zendaya's performance phenomenal as this character. That was that last season 1, and I think was that season 2 with the intervention, when they had the intervention with her. And that was that. That's the one she won the award for. She won the SAG award. Yeah, she won the SAG, I think, and she won a Golden Globe and an Emmy or something like that. She won a few joints for that. Yeah, she did her thing. So good show.
Well, I heard she did amazing in it. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, it is. She really did she did her thing in that, and it impressed me because, to be honest with you, up until that point, well, maybe up until that, and when I saw the movie that she did with Denzel Washington's son, was that Denzel Washington's son? She did it with, yeah. But yeah, up until that point, honestly, I kind of pegged her as kind of one-dimensional. I was like, she's kind of like the same character every show, every movie, but she really evolved and showed me that she's not, you know, like she has depth, you know. Because I remember my kids watching her, and people, or maybe my grandkids watching her, and when she was on Disney or wherever she was, and then of course when I start seeing her in other stuff, you see her in Spider-Man, you see her in this and that, I'm like, okay, she's kind of like the same, but she really dug in her bag in that show and delivered us a great performance, and I give her credit.
I thought, well, she was a little different in Spider-Man, and when she was in Dune, the first installment of Dune as well.
I didn't think so up to that point, but it's all good. Hey, Maddie, what's up? What's up to the chat room? Everybody out there, appreciate y'all joining. Joseph, was good? Yeah.
Right. So Joseph's back with his black card shining. Right.
His black card shining. Yeah, Joseph's the only non-black person that has a black card. Which is funny. So, Miss Nyree, before we even continue with the show, how are you doing? Let's talk about some of the stuff you've been doing.
I'm doing pretty good. Just multitasking, I call myself a serialpreneur. So I just been constantly focused on working and handling my business and running my other businesses and just trying to keep going. I have my modeling agency. which I am actually planning on transitioning that. Well, it's not going to transition, but it's going to relocate when I relocate. As I told you before, I'm planning on moving out of the country. So I'm planning on taking my modeling agency with me, and as well as my podcast, which is called The Rap with Ry, not The Rap
I'm
with
saying the
Ree.
rap with Ree, the rap with Ry. My bad.
Well, Rap with Ry. Don't it sound much better like that, y'all? Don't y'all agree,
Rap
Kevin?
It does.
It
Yeah,
sounds
It
guess
does.
so.
better. The Rap with Ry
I agree.
versus
Okay.
the Rap with Ree.
Rap
Where
with
they do
Ree.
that at? Don't even make sense no more. I'm just, I got to give you a hard time.
It's all good. That is so funny, man. That's
But yeah,
I'm
so
so bad.
everything's been good out here in Arizona. Yeah.
Well, that's
But yeah,
good
everything's
then.
good. I'm
So
just
you're gonna
excited to be a
be.
part of this and for
No,
bringing
I
me on and
appreciate you
everything.
joining
So
us.
yeah.
Appreciate you hanging out with us, man. We are, obviously we're all filmmakers ourselves, but we're film lovers first, you know. So
Exactly.
when
Yeah.
we talk about this business and things that's going on, and it is crazy. What do you think about the actors strike? That's something we're getting into anyway. Some updates on that. Um, yeah, this
You
actor
know,
strike is going on.
so it doesn't surprise me. And it's crazy because I'm like, is every damn body going on strike? Because my brother-in-law just told me that his job about to go on strike. He worked for General Motors, and so he's like, yeah, we about to go on strike in September or whatever. And I'm like that, every damn body going on strike. So I mean,
all
I
of their
don't know, like
contracts are up.
Yeah, a lot of contracts are getting
all at the same
uh,
time.
I guess I don't know. I don't know. So General Motors is about to go on strike. You said General Motors, right?
We don't have no cars. We ain't gonna have no movies to watch because the actors
We're
and
gonna have more of a
them
delay
going
in cars.
And the funny thing is, because just not too long,
the people that live in Las Vegas on strike, I'm like, damn.
Yeah, well, somebody, well, the union that does like the production people like IATSE and stuff like that, they have recently went on strike. A few years ago, a couple years ago. So I don't anticipating them going on strike anytime soon. But they're facing the dilemma. The strike is affecting everyone, which most strikes do, right? That's kind of like the point of a strike. It's affecting everyone in the business, from the studios, but it affects the actors themselves that are striking, it affects the writers that are striking, and it affects the production workers, the crew members, the first ADs, and the gaffers, the grips, the sound people. Like, these are people that work and they have their own union. So that's why obviously they're not on strike. They got their own union. And it also affecting the Teamsters. It affects the Teamsters that usually drive the trucks
Well,
and
I feel like
the trailers and stuff like that.
I feel like this. Like,
I heard it was affecting.
Huh?
No, I read an article. It said that not only about the strike, that one of the unintentional people getting hurt are the businesses around the movie studios,
right?
That would be packed for lunches with actors and everybody.
Yeah,
they are getting slammed. They're like, business like % fall off.
Yeah, that's it. And what you were saying, Miss Nyree? See, I was about to call you Ree. You were saying, Miss Nyree?
So I feel like, it is a bad thing. It is, a difficult thing to have to deal with in the industry. But at the same time, it's for a purpose and a cause. But if we look back at when COVID happened, when the pandemic hit, so at that time, I was working behind the scenes in the industry. I was working for a company called Motion Picture Compliance, and we basically hired the drivers who would go and deliver sets, like the props for sets and things like that. So as soon as the pandemic hit, my industry was like literally one of the very first industries that got hit with layoffs and things like that. And so when that happened, I remember like they rushed us all into a room and was like, okay, we gotta let everybody go. We gotta lay y'all off because this is what's going on in the pandemic, all of that. We don't know when y'all can come back, but we'll pay you up until XYZ. So I feel like, yeah, this hits hard in the industry, but not as hard as it did when the pandemic happened. Because when the pandemic happened, like everything is shut down. Like they shut it down immediately. It wasn't, no, can we talk about it? Can we maybe work around it somehow? We was just done, and that was it. So I feel like, and these strikes is not something that happens just like, oh my God, it's a strike. Like this is something they strike. The writers strike. Remember they went on strike way back when they had to do like a fast forward in some of the shows. They fast forward like 5 years when they came back off a strike. So this is something that happens, and I mean we're used to it, but at the same time, like, yeah, it does affect you. You know, it does, it make you feel. I have friends in the industry, who are some of like my mentors or just people that I've worked with in the industry behind the scenes. I've done some acting myself. So, I feel for them because I'm like, I understand like you about trying to support your cause and what this is for. But at the same time, now you're going to be out of work. So I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. And not all of the, they're going to support their union. Not all of the actors are like in favor of a strike. Now there's a lot. Most of them are, because they want to roll with their union. They know that the situation is not a good one on their end, especially when it comes to pay. So, and we're talking about the majority of actors that are represented by the SAG union, which are, your everyday working actor, not the small 3% that are blockbuster or, A-list actors. There's a small percentage of those, as we know. We see them because that's why we keep seeing the same ones in the same movies, because there's a small percentage of them, right? So, it's just a small percentage of them. So they're the ones that are getting, they're A-list actors, whatever, they're getting paid big, whatever. But them alone striking, they're actually doing it for the future as well. They're not just doing it for themselves. They are doing it for themselves too, but they're doing it for the future because they got money. You know what I'm saying? So it's refreshing if you're an actor, it's be refreshing to see them on the front lines with you, because they don't really have to be, because they got bread. Some of them got other businesses that's not even in the entertainment business, what I mean? So they still got money coming in, because this business is crazy. But yeah, so I actually, that's a pretty good segue, because Stephen Amell is an actor who played Arrow on the show Arrow. He played the Green Arrow on the CW show Arrow, which started a whole universe from Warner Brothers. They called it the Arrowverse, where you had the Green Arrow show, then you had the Flash, you have Supergirl, you had Legends of Tomorrow, you had Black Lightning. All of those shows fell under what they dubbed the Arrowverse, because his show kind of pioneered that whole movement. Stephen Amell isn't in favor of the strike. He does maintain that he supports his union. However, he's not in favor of the strike. He made it public that he not in favor of the strike. He's not out there on the picket lines and stuff like that.
But even though they're not in favor of it, don't they still have to deal with it? Because
I mean, they got to deal with it
when there's a
they have to deal with it. As far as if you want to stay in the union, you have to deal with it. You could take work if you want to, but at the expense of being barred from the union. So
right.
I don't think he's gonna go.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like,
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't think he's gonna go that far, but he did he made a statement because he had made an appearance at like some sort of convention, and they're actually banned from doing it. You're not supposed to do that, but I don't know if this convention happened before the strike, but he said at the convention that
Was it
you know
Comic Con?
huh?
Was it Comic Con?
It wasn't Comic Con. It was some
Okay.
other convention, but it might have been a comic convention, but it wasn't like the San Diego Comic Con. It was
Okay, gotcha.
some other convention that he was at, and he was made an appearance there. And yeah, he made it known. He was very transparent. He said, "Yeah, I love my union and I stand with them. I support them, but I'm not in favor of a strike." So this was probably before the strike happened, but he just said he's not in favor of a strike. Because and the same thing. Tom Cruise didn't say that he wasn't in favor of the strike, but he was trying to negotiate. He called in while they were doing negotiations, and he joined the negotiations, and he was trying to speak to the AM, what do they call it? The AMPTP, which is the union that represents the studios, and of course SAG. And he was just trying to say, trying to mediate a little bit because he wanted to be able to still promote his film, which had just came out, which is Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. So, so now, right now, currently, just to keep everybody up to date, there are certain interim contracts that SAG is allowing, but that's more on the side of if you had just started a production or you're in the middle of a production, you can finish it, like that type of deal.
Okay.
Like you don't have, like there's certain productions that they have been and also they're allowing you to not negotiate, but like if you say you just signed on to do a new movie and then the strike happens, like they're allowing you to still go through like the motions that you have to, all of the preliminary stuff that you got to do to be able to start the movie. Once the strike is over, you can go in and start it. But like some people were at first, just abandoning the project, and some still chose to do that. Viola Davis she aborted her project that she was doing. She said, "No, I'm not doing it." So some of them really,
I mean, it's Viola.
yeah. Some of them stand tall on what they believe in, and they're saying, "Look, if we're gonna do it, let's do it. Let's not half do it. Yeah, if we're gonna do it, let's do it." So some people feel that way. Some people don't. Some people like, whatever. They want to take advantage of that. So it's real.
Me personally,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I kind of agree with a whole strike. Like I feel like people, like you said, they're standing up for what they want, what they believe in, what they're fighting for. And I feel like when it comes to something like that, especially if something that you're passionate about or something that's going to benefit you and your family at the end of the day, I am all for that. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I
I
mean,
I
it's
was that into acting, like, if I had made it that far with acting and stuff, I probably would too. I don't care how much money I got. At the end of the day, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. So
no, I agree. Yeah, I mean, think about it. It's 87% of the actors in the union, they earn less than the qualifying amount of $26,000 a year that qualifies them to get health insurance from the union. So
which they just made that possible, right?
Yeah, right. That right there tells you a lot, that actors are not making what people may think they are because they're on TV or they're on in the movie. They're not making close to what you think they're making, because the only thing that makes the news are the actors that are making millions of dollars for movies, but they're A-list actors, and they're a very small percentage of them. So out of that 12% that's making more than the 26,000, there's a smaller percentage that's making millions. So that's just the cold facts and the numbers. Some of them, so it's like, okay, you have this job, it's still a job. Or you have a job in an industry that makes billions of dollars. It's $1 billion industry. So, naturally your pay should be, I would say, higher than the average person who maybe works, whatever, $100,000 a year, $50,000 a year, whatever. They work a regular, quote unquote, regular job. So yeah, they have to push for the things that they're pushing for, more money. It's more on the television side than the film side, honestly. The television side is where they're losing money.
Yeah,
Film is pretty cut and dry. This is how much you get paid for the film, and that's that.
I took acting classes when I lived in LA from a very well-known actor or actress rather. And one thing she had expressed to us, she was like, y'all ain't just gotta do acting. Like, you ain't just gotta be on camera. She was like, it's other stuff that y'all can do to stay in the industry and make money. And so we was like, what are you talking about? She was like, she was like, what bought my house, what paid for my car, or pays for my car rather, is she does voiceover acting.
Right.
And so I kind of got into voiceover acting after that, because that motivated me. I was like, oh wow, I never knew that. And I'm like, I really don't have the desire to want to be on screen. Like, I don't mind being behind the scenes. And so after she broke it down for us, because she does video games voiceover, that's actually like the meat and potatoes of her income is voiceover acting for video games. But she does, on screen regularly. She does, television. Right now she's on BET Her Plus. She has a show on there. And she's doing amazing. She's evolved since then. But I was like, I never knew that there was so much residual income in voiceover acting. So that was something that I ended up pursuing, and I liked it, and I'm still going for it. Yeah.
Yes, it is. And you get in the video game industry, because games are so interactive now, they've evolved so much. And they've even started using, recognizable actors' faces in certain games. Far Cry used my man Giancarlo Esposito was used in Far Cry, the game. You saw, his likeness and voice. He even voiced it too. He would have been crazy not to. If they're using your likeness anyway, you should voice it. And so that that type of stuff makes money. And voiceover acting, if you're blessed enough to get on a series, that's even better. Whether it's an animated series or whatever, and you're doing voiceover, I mean, that's a blessing, right? So so it's the television side that's really the big issue as far as the money goes. It's more so on the television side, dealing with residuals, dealing with, because I mean, their previous collective bargaining agreement it was done so long ago. It was really before the streaming really kicked in, because remember, up until just a few years, streaming was the enemy, even to the studios, because they were not up on that. So Netflix and stuff like that was an opposition to the studios at one time. But now they have adapted that model, and now they just created their own streaming apps and services, from their network, and now they're part of the streaming game.
Don't they got something going on with them legally?
Huh? What'd you say?
I said, don't they got something going on with them legally now too?
Netflix. Yeah. Netflix is now part of the AMPTP. Yeah, the Netflix is now going on. They're like a studio now. Before they were like a streamer.
No, I'm saying they got something legally going on.
Who? Netflix?
Like Netflix, yeah. That's what I heard recently. Like they had something going on. I guess they got lawsuits and stuff going on for not paying people properly.
Oh yeah. That's a whole that's outside of the strike and all of that stuff. Yeah, they've ran into some lawsuit situations. They have ran into that. I think more so. I think that's actually with producers that were producing shows and weren't getting, they weren't paying them out right or something like that. Yeah, they've had Netflix has been running into a series of problems, but that's a perfect segue because I want to bring this to you guys' attention. So, with that being said, one of the other major things that the unions are striking is the rise of AI, right? So, and artificial intelligence. So, right here is according to the Intercept, there is several articles I read. As actors strike for AI protections, Netflix lists a job that pays $900,000 a year for AI. It's an AI job. So Netflix lists a job for the title is AI product manager, and the salary for that job, that one job position, it's $900,000 a year.
And I see nothing wrong with that.
Right. So that $900,000 a year for the AI product manager job. Also, let's see. Per year, blah blah blah. And so they were talking with one of the actors who was just Black Mirror just recently, new season, had an episode that dealt with about AI technology replacing the actors and stuff like that. And one of the actors that was in that episode was speaking somewhere, and he was talking about, he said, yeah, having been poor and rich in this business, I can assure you that there's enough money to go around. It's just about priorities. That's Rob Delaney, who played in Black Mirror. He's also been a producer and stuff like that.
I don't care about none of that. With this thing with the AI project manager.
Right.
Now, what I want to know is that their salary, or is that the budget for the AI project manager?
That's their salary. That's the salary for the position.
Okay.
Also, Disney has also put out a position, listed a position for an AI. What's their job title called? It's called Senior AI Engineer, to drive innovation across our cinematic pipelines and theatrical experiences. It says the posting mentions several big name Disney studios where AI is already playing a role, including Marvel, Walt Disney Animation, and Pixar. And it says that they had the list for that too. It didn't pay that. It didn't pay $900,000, but it was like whereas it was like 400, 500,000 or something like that
But
a year.
but again, I don't have a problem with these salaries. Reason being is the position, the pay goes with the position and the responsibility that comes with that position.
Right.
If
No,
you're somebody, if you're somebody that's doing AI and or anything that's
No.
AI relevant, I mean, you're responsible for. You're going to be responsible for a whole bunch of stuff and current stuff that's going on. Because, like you
Right.
said, it was
Exactly.
Disney,
But you do realize why they're being paid that much money. It has nothing to do with the responsibility. It has everything to do with they're going to fire a lot of people. That's basically what it means. Because how many people does it take to monitor computers? Because that's basically what you're going to do. You're going to be the babysitter for the AI.
No, but it does take a but no, it still takes a team.
Small team, very small team.
But even if it's a small team, it doesn't mean. See, and I don't agree. I don't think everybody's going to get fired.
A lot of people are going to get fired, though. A lot. If AI technology hits its peak in the industry, Kev, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. That is it. That is because the fact that you're going to afford to pay one person almost $1 million a year, you're gonna have to make up that money somewhere else. You have to get rid of people. That's one position. That's not a team. That's one person.
Like I said, yeah, it is one person, but on the outset, they're not going to until this thing is perfected, and also depending on what the AI is doing. I mean, everybody just assumes that it's coming in to take over everybody's job. Is that really the case?
It's generative AI. Generative AI is basically going to take people's positions because it's creating, it's generating. What do I need this person for? What do I need this department for? If it's just like what happened if you go to the music industry. Once the internet came high into play, what do we need? Why do we need A&R people? What do we need that for? We got YouTube. We don't need A&Rs. Get rid of them. We don't need marketing department. We have this. Get rid of them.
Twitter.
We got Twitter. We got Instagram. That's our marketing. Let's pay 2 to 3, maybe 5 people to stay on the internet all day long and market our product. Let's fire the whole department of marketing. So it's the same thing that's going to happen. It's the same thing. So if you have an AI generated, just like how they predicted on the Netflix show, if you have an AI that is literally generative creating, it's creating within itself, stuff like that. What do we need filmmakers for? What do we need actors for? Why are we paying them? We're going to generate this in-house in this working computer, and we're not going to need all of these people to make this office run. As a matter of fact, we don't even need to be in this office no more. Let's downgrade. We don't need that much space. This is where it's going. And this is why they're striking, because this is where it can and ultimately will go. Will it be exactly like on the Netflix show? Maybe not, but it can be. The possibilities are there, and that's what they're talking about. The possibilities of it, where they won't hardly need anybody anymore. You don't even, it's the same thing with music. They do that. They start replacing artists with AI technology. They're not going to need producers anymore. They're not going to need this person anymore. They're going to need none of that no more. So everyone loses out. And what happens is, of course, except for obviously the companies that implement the AI, because what do we talk about here? and that's why I mentioned the reason why I even went with this topic, because this generation of consumer is more susceptible or acceptable to it. Not saying that all of them are, but this generation is very easily satisfied or impressed, for that matter. You don't believe me? Just look at the content that's out. Look at the content that's out as far as music, and sometimes even in television and film. It's not much, but it still impresses people. It still amuses them. It still entertains them. So if any generation is going to be accepting to a fully structured AI environment, it'll be this generation and beyond. They'll be the ones accepting to it, and my question is, what if studios just decide to say, you know what, forget it, we're not going to work nothing out with these actors, we're going to experiment and just create actors. It doesn't have to be, they don't have to look like them. We're not going to create an actor that looks like Denzel Washington, because we can't do it without his permission. But we're going to create an actor, and we're going to do a movie with it, and throw it out there and see if it sticks.
They already did that. Remember Max Headroom?
Yeah.
Back in the 80s?
Yeah, they've done it before, but I'm just saying, fully created actors, and they're pushing it like they're actors, right? Let's see if this generation is acceptant to it. And if that be the case, then bye-bye actors. You don't need actors anymore.
Well, no, it's not bye-bye actors, because now you're forcing a new. It's just like anything. It's like it, because I'm just gonna call us that, because that's what we are. We're organisms, and like any organism, when you're forced into an environment of extinction, sometimes what happens is you evolve elsewhere. It might take some time, but you end up evolving elsewhere. And what's going to happen with the actors is they're going to, let's just say, for argument's sake, that the studios be like, okay, yeah, screw all of y'all. We're going to do our thing, and we just going to roll the dice with AI. Figure it out. Right now, there's enough money in Hollywood right now to where if these actors decide to come together and build their own studio, they can come together and build their own studio. They can pull an Image Comics, and the only thing they'll do, they'll create another level of competition. And what's going to happen is, the general public is going to be the deciding factor of, are we going to be traditionalists and side with the actors and stick with this, or are we just going to fully embrace what AI, what the studios are throwing at us as far as AI, and then jump in bed with that? I think it's going to be a combination of the two, depending on how good the AI is. The actors are going to have to really come with some stuff, and unfortunately for the actors on the stuff that we really like on science fiction and stuff like that, they're probably going to be jammed in a corner when it comes to doing that field of work, because of the studios wanting to probably use AI instead of using a whole team of special effects people. They're probably going to, like jobs at like Lucas Films and Industrial Light Magic.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's the people that I'm worried about.
Yeah,
jobs are going to be affected. By AI.
They would definitely be affected by AI, which would be a tragedy. I mean, Industrial Light and Magic has been bringing us.
But kind of sort of haven't they put those kind of sort of in the box? In that box, they kind of sort of put themselves in that jam, because they've been them and James Cameron. They push technology to its limits, and then they keep reinventing themselves, or reinventing new technologies that are pushing to. Yeah,
then what
no,
you're supposed to do?
yeah, you're supposed to do that, but at the same time, what it's doing is it's kind of sort of putting them in a box to remove the human element because the only next place to go is with AI. That's the next level of being. When
Yeah,
it
but I
comes to
mean,
that industry.
I wouldn't blame them for people because it's still all about what your priorities are. People, the
Well,
studios,
you gotta
but the
blame them
studios,
because
you can't blame
it's
them
still.
because the studios only want to use AI for one reason, to save money,
And
right?
I understand. I understand that.
Right.
But
So
but the
you can
point.
use
But the
AI
point.
and work with it and be advanced and stuff like that. Why not work with? That's what AI is not. AI was never created to take over. It's created to advance the human race, not
But
take it over.
But in enhancing, it still ends up in taking over. It still ends up in a slight takeover, and some jobs are going to be lost. And some people are just going to have to become nurses or find something else to do because it's like the same thing with what we can say right now with Industrial Light and Magic. They went from doing a lot of hand models and doing stuff by hand to a lot of computer generated stuff.
Yeah.
Now it's gonna go. It's gonna go to the next level. Now instead of having a 3,000 man team to do visual effects, you're gonna be down to 250 or to 200. You know, that list of credits at the end of movies now is going to be a lot shorter. So
Right.
instead
I mean,
of
and what, jobs evolving or even eliminating is part of the evolvement of technology. We all know that. That happened with Industrial Light and Magic. Half of them had to either stop
adapt.
or had to adapt and start learning the computers, right? But when you get to the point where there's nowhere for you to adapt because it's artificial intelligence, so you don't need to adapt. They don't need you anymore. That's when, at some point you have to draw the line somewhere. You can't just keep going until we're living in the Matrix, basically, where computers is running the entire planet.
But it does end up you don't do it on purpose, but it does happen, and I can only say that because I'm in an industry where it's kind of sort of not even kind of sort of it did happen. In my industry, I'm probably a handful of people outside of architects that still do it. There are no draftsmen really that draft by hand anymore.
Yeah,
everybody uses AutoCAD. And when I was in school, they were purposely teaching people how to hand draft. And the only reason, and one of my instructors said it to me, he said, the only real reason why we still teach hand drafting is for people like you, people who still like to enjoy to draw by hand, which I do. But even one of my contractors that I work with, he still does his preliminary drawings by hand.
Yeah.
And then he hands them out to us, and then we translate them over to AutoCAD. But for the most part, a lot of people, I've even seen people doing new 7-Elevens.
Right.
These guys are on site. They're drafting and laying stuff out on site.
On site,
so
it's affecting every industry, and it is going to affect. I don't know how fast it will affect, say, your industry, but I'm talking about AI. It's going to affect the graphic industry, graphic designers,
which is
it's
still
already
affecting.
Right, as part of your industry. Yeah, graphic designers are already being affected by AI. I mean, there are people doing what they would pay maybe a couple hundreds of dollars to a graphic designer, a good one. They're doing it on their phone in apps with AI technology. So it's already affecting that industry. It's obviously affecting the music industry. It's going to affect almost every industry except if you're like just like a blue collar worker, like they won't affect that industry until they start bringing androids into the play where they start replacing people altogether.
Physically,
physically.
But this is why I say I kind of sort of agree with the pig, because you have to. What you're going to have to start doing is what people are going to have to start doing is now it's going to become a competition of who knows how to run AI the best. Right now is the time to start learning how AI works. Start learning how to figure out how it works for the industry that you're in. Because even for what even for what I do, it's going to become a point in time where some genius, and God, I can't believe I'm throwing this. I can't believe I'm so bad with throwing ideas out there in the atmosphere. But somebody right now somewhere is probably thinking like, oh, you know what? How about if we have an AI program where people could just go onto their computers, log in their houses, or we could just go out and figure out what their house dimensions are, do a whole design for them, and instead of us having to take the time of getting an architect, getting an engineer, have these programs, have AI draw the plans for us and draw the headers and everything, and boom, the homeowner, $2,000, boom, your plan is done. Versus whether paying $5,000 to $6,000, then having to go to a town to get them approved. Like towns can almost eliminate dealing with architects. So it's like
it's just like the graphic design. It's evolution, but we control evolution. That's the point. The human race controls the evolution. It's all about the people that are in the power positions and how they decide to use this technology, evolution, whatever. Just like you said, if people start learning about AI, but that's going to be a very competitive field. Like I said, like we said, if you have a building full of employees and now your business is mostly ran by AI, you're going to get down from maybe 100 employees down to maybe 10 or 20, if that, because there's not much more needed once the AI has been programmed and it's kicked in. So everybody going out, it's not like how it was when everyone was like, well, you better learn computers because computers is taking over the world. Well, it's not going to be like that, because there was so much, it was that field was so wide open as the world was adapting to computers. It was much easier to get a computer job, you know what I mean, and say, okay, because it was still wide open. But this particular, the AI is doing most of the work for you. So that position is going to be very competitive. There's not going to be a lot of people in those positions. So, like I said, if a company is willing to pay almost $1 million a year for that position, I can guarantee you a lot of people are going to lose jobs behind that. A lot, because it's just, if that's one person, what if they need more than one? What if they decide they need more than one person? So now you're paying out $2-3 million a year to a few employees, just to basically babysit the artificial, basically to make sure it doesn't become the Terminator, or it doesn't become Skynet. That's basically what you're gonna be doing. Because other than that, you'll probably be maintaining it, maybe feeding it information that it may need to adapt and evolve. And that's pretty much what you're going to be doing. That's your job. So, it's of course, it's a big responsibility that goes along with it, but it's more so the fact that is, they're not going to need as much people to do that job. So the Netflix one was offers up to $650,000 for its generative AI technical director role. So that's another job. The AI technical director role. So that'll be the person probably feeding it information, probably helping it generate, if it's a movie, helping it generate the movie, whatever movie it's generating, stuff like that. And it says, I still don't see. I forgot the one that they said here on Disney. They had the list in here too on Disney on how much they was offering for theirs. But anyway, it's well up there. Both positions are over $500,000 a year to do these roles. And that's, it's not a team. It's for everyone. Here's another thing. Because Netflix already has a series. Netflix already putting the AI technology to work. On July 6th, the streaming service premiered a new Spanish reality dating series called Deep Fake Love, in which scans of contestants' faces and bodies are used to create AI-generated deepfake simulations of themselves. In another job posting, Netflix seeks technical director for generative AI in its research and development tech lab for its gaming studios. It says video games often employ voice actors and writers, of course, like what Miss Nyree just said not too long ago. Video game. and, So generative AI is a type of AI that can produce text, images, and video from input data. A key component of original content creation, but which can be used for other purposes like advertising. Generative AI is distinct from older, more familiar AI models that provide things like algorithms, recommendations, and genre tags. So they have here all of those. This is a quote from this dude. His name is something Zhao, but he says all of the models are typically called discriminatory models or classifiers. They tell you what something is, like Chat GPT, for instance, or image generated models. I'm seeing it all the time now on the internet. Everything now you can't even believe what you see anymore on the internet at all. Before, you couldn't to a degree. Now you can't believe nothing at all. Because they're using the generate the AI, generative AI programs that are taking graphics and generating pictures of people, pictures of artists, pictures of actors. So you might see a picture of, I don't know, Gal Gadot nude.
Scammers.
Right, exactly. This Gal Gadot nude. What? And it looks exactly like her. It don't look like a picture. It don't look like it doesn't look like a graphic. It looks like her.
Well, remember,
how is that legal?
It's not.
Well, it's not, and they've been, but see,
that's
catfishing.
catfishing.
But that's something they've been doing that for decades.
Yeah.
I remember even right around the time when Facebook started becoming big, and even before I got on it, they were having people were getting arrested, particularly, and I hate to go down this lane, but particularly the pervs that were doing. That's when they were telling people, watch putting images of your kids online, because they were taking the images of kids and putting them on.
But they were doing that. There were people doing that themselves with like Photoshop and stuff like that, which is still creepy as hell. But my point is, now they could even do it more and faster because AI is generating it in seconds. You know what I'm saying? So because
that's why I don't like AI.
Yeah. I just got updates from Adobe, on my programs. Adobe, my Adobe suite sent updates for Premiere, for Illustrator, and I think even for Photoshop, Illustrator, and I think for Premiere as well. They're like AI updates. So now Photoshop, if you didn't know, like I said, to the average person that doesn't want world dominance with it, it's great. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, cool. I never knew how to work Photoshop. Now I don't need to know how to work Photoshop. I'll just use the AI function and let it create me something. You know,
Easy.
right, lady. And like I said, now from an artist, hey, from an artist standpoint, do I think that's lazy as hell? Hell yeah. And and of course it's been that way, several years coming up, where people are, I mean, it's been that way even since the internet really got into play and social media. It's and every industry is going to be affected by it, just like they were affected by the internet, just like they were affected by social media. You got people that went to school for journalism for years, 4 years plus, to be journalists, and then you got cats that just started doing this on YouTube, this year, and they're getting in the same rooms that these people that worked all their lives to learn how to do this are getting.
I mean, people that don't even have journalistic backgrounds, because they became YouTube famous. It's like now you get a job on well, more than likely the first place you go is Fox News. That's the first place they want you.
Wow.
And if you become, hopefully you take advantage of it and you become smart about it, and then you get away from their platform, and then you get on something a little bit more credible. And not to say that Fox is not credible, but they're full of crap anyway.
I'll say it. They're not credible. They're crap.
So
I'll say
they're crap credible.
Yeah. So yeah, people would know that. Like for instance, I just use that as an example. So, I'm from New York, and the New York tri-state area. I'm sure you've obviously heard of them too, Ralph. Let's just say Mike and the Mad Dog from back in the day. Sports, WFAN.
Yeah.
Mike and the Mad Dog. I remember years ago when I was living in New York, years ago, I heard Mike talking on him and the Mad Dog was having a discussion, and already at that point podcasters had came into play, and they made a comment about it was football week, the what's it called, media
NFL
week
draft?
No, media week,
okay.
The week before the Super Bowl, media week,
right.
where everyone's there, interviewing the people from Super Bowl, the teams. And he said, it's really interesting that, like, we interviewed, I'll just say Tom Brady, because he's always in the Super Bowl. So it's like we just interviewed Tom Brady, and Tom Brady got up from our table and walked over to the table next to us, where it's just, this is a 20-year-old kid who, just got into this business, and he's getting the same interviews that we're getting. They're in the same atmospheres that we're in. They're in the same spaces. He's like, it's amazing how this technology is how this business is evolving to adapt to, the technology. They look at podcasters, especially if they're a podcaster that has a big following. Look at like the Paul brothers, Logan Paul, and the other one. These guys are YouTubers that got millions of followers, made millions of dollars from YouTube, and they just decided, you know what? I want to box. I'm gonna start boxing. And what he does, he starts boxing, and then all his people is following him. So the boxing industry, which is gone down, by the way, the boxing industry said, yo, we need something to get a spark into this industry. Let's let this guy come in and start boxing people. This guy never boxed any professionally in his life. Go in there, and it becomes a sideshow now. He's boxing other people that's not even professional boxers, and he's knocking them out. You just knocked out a hockey player, or you just knocked out a basketball player. But my point is, that's from there, everyone kind of just like adapts to this new world or whatever of it. And like I said, hey, I'm accepting to it to a degree. I believe that you could just use AI to help you. You shouldn't just use it to do the work for you, because that don't make sense. If I'm
well, to some people it does make sense, because if to somebody that doesn't know how to do anything, that can produce a product and then able to sell that product and make money.
Well, I mean, obviously it makes sense, but I mean, from the true creative standpoint, that's a cheat code. So of course, it happens. I don't like it, but it happens because I mean, if you don't know how to do something, guess what, bruh? Learn how to do it. Because if I learned it, you can learn it.
Yeah, but don't we always use the cheat code for stuff? I mean, some of us are bad speller. But
well, I mean,
of
yeah,
course
of course,
you do.
yeah.
Some of us are bad
we
spellers.
use cheat code, but is that cheat code though? I mean, just because you're a bad speller and you use spell correct, that's not a cheat code.
Well, technically speaking, it is. Become better at your spelling. I mean, but I mean, we also use spell check for what it's really there to use for as an editing feature. If you don't have somebody to proof your work, then that's what spell check is used for. That's what the main purpose of a spell check was used for.
And even spell check is a form of AI, and it took jobs away as well. Because
Grammarly.
editors, Grammarly, exactly. Grammarly takes away editors' jobs. You don't think it does? Of course it does. You know what I'm saying? There's much
to the full extent. Because Grammarly is exactly that. Like, listen, they'll tell you, it tells you when you're typing, like if you're using the wrong sentence structure, like, hey, what are you doing, bro? That's not it. Use this right here in green.
Yeah, use this. Don't use that. What are you doing? Yeah, exactly. It tells you that you're even doing wrong sentence structure and stuff like that. So all of it is really, like I said, to me, it's a very sensitive topic because, I embrace the AI technology to a degree because regardless of me knowing whether you know how to do it or not is irrelevant if you just want to use it to do the work for you. There's a lot of things that I don't know how to do. Right? AI, I don't know if there is an AI that can help with some of the things I don't know how to do, but I'm just saying, it's crazy, man. It's very disturbing because if this is what you do, and
guess what? And guess what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen with AI? What they need to do right now is they need to start what YouTubers, especially people who do master classes, what you need to start doing is somehow figuring out how to copyright or how to license your stuff, because what's going to happen is, and I think somebody brought up a lawsuit with this already. What's going to happen
that was
with
Sarah,
AI is,
Sarah Silverman.
what's going to happen? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, what's going to happen with AI is going to start taking these master classes that, master classes for this, master classes for that, and AI is going to be smart enough to be like, what is master class? Oh, master class means that now the AI is learning from that, and it's going to get to a point where it's not even going to need people to input content. It's going to start. It's going to become self-aware.
It's going to basically become Ultron. As long as it's connected to the internet where it can pull from something, it's just going to become Ultron, basically. So, which is the whole point of when that happens, obviously it's gone too far. Now we have to. We get to the point where we have to defend ourselves against artificial intelligence. It's launching missiles or some crap. That's war games. You know what I'm saying? You think about that.
That's where those.
What'd you say?
I said it sounds like a lot of folks finna be out of a job.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. Well, it doesn't have to be that way, but it's going to be that way because what happens is the people, unfortunately, the way this country and this world is structured, there are levels of what's the word I'm looking for? Classes. Because of the levels of classes, the people that are the decision makers, meaning like of companies. If you work for a company, the person at the top of the company has to be the one to decide if they're going to implement AI or not. So these are the people that are deciding that they're going to implement AI that you have no control over, right? And that's what it is. And even if you run your own business, let's just say this: you run, like I said, my boy Sal, great graphic designer. Shout out to him. He runs his own business. He's a graphic designer, right? Now I don't know. I haven't talked to him about AI or anything like that, but I'm just using this as an example. Once these AI things kick in, people make the decision. Well, I'm going to use this AI, obviously, instead of paying Zal to do it for me. Which is, I mean, like I said, that's just a evolution, right? So now it's like, damn, this is what I do. I've been doing this for 20 years. This is what I do for a living. How do I evolve? How do I beat out AI? How do I beat out something that could make what I could make in 20 seconds?
by getting the technology. Here's what's going to happen. People, this is what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to learn AI, learn how to implement it into your business, or guess what? Go pick cotton, because
there's no real learning to AI. You can study what it does and how it works. You just basically
that's what I'm saying. But that's my point. Just like,
but that's not gonna help as much though, Kev. Because if I learn, I'll tell you right now, if I learn AI, let's just use writing. I'm a writer too, right? So if I learned the AI and I implement it in my writing, right? Yes, I'll be able to write scripts faster. But if you learn it and you could do it yourself, why are you paying me to do it? You got the same exact tool that I have.
But
so I still don't make money.
But that's exactly my point. My point is, you have to learn to, even though you're probably going to get boxed out in certain areas. What you're going to have to do is, and writing is a different scenario, because you can't just you would literally have
to again with graphic design.
Well, using graphic design as an example, if somebody wants their bus wrap and their van wraps, obviously they're gonna have to come to Sal to get it done. If somebody just wants a poster done, depending on the size of the poster, if it's 11 by 17 and it's something that they can print on their HP printer at home, then yeah, they're gonna do it that way. What Sal and people that do what I do have to do is, you have to become more adaptive to the technology, and you're either going to have to cut your prices down in order to bring in the clientele that you need to bring in to kind of box AI out, and it's only going to be a temporary measure.
It's not really going to box it out, but that'll be a temporary measure. And everything you're saying is 100% true, Kev. But the whole point of the conversation, and actually going back to the fact that why the strike is going on and stuff like that, is what you're basically saying is you have to bow down to AI. And AI was created by humans, so you shouldn't have to bow down to it. That's the point. And you're only bowing down to it because now in case of an independent person who has their own company, that's the consumer is now the one that's deciding not to go with you. They're just going to use the AI. But the people that are in industries that have people on higher levels that make these decisions, that's the point. So it's like, okay, I've been acting all my life. I've been a working actor all my life. So how does an actor adjust to AI? It's just impossible.
And the only way an actor can adjust to AI, like I said before, is by forming their own production companies and making their own movies.
And I agree with that. And I just wanted to touch on that because you mentioned that earlier. I wanted to touch on that. Right, but let's not forget, 87% of actors are not in that position to do that. You're talking about the small percentage of actors that have the money, because let's make no mistake, there are not a lot of actors that have that kind of money.
But it doesn't take I'm not saying all of the actors. What it takes is for the actors that have money to be able to put it and to take out these loans. Because let's be real, even the production companies are not spending their money to do it. They didn't start out spending their money to do it. They started out spending bank money in order to get their production started, or going out and getting seed money and putting these. This is where you get all these production companies from. So the artists are gonna have to start doing is create the same thing. You're gonna have to start doing the same thing. I mean, just like with Ry and her business, her modeling agency. I'm not saying that there's gonna be AI models that and they're just might. I mean, I don't know, Ry. Do you think you're gonna have to make the adjustment to AI?
It very well might be damn AI models.
They're gonna be like, "Hello, Ry. I'd like to audition to be part of of your roster of models. Do you not think I am pretty?"
I mean, is there going to be? I mean, are there going to be? Is the fashion industry going to start turning to AI runways to where some of these? And I mean, that's kind of actually a perfect example too, because even with modeling, I mean, a lot of the designers, they might start out their sketches by hand, but they do their things on I forget what the machine is called, but
I'm already seeing it happening.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. There you go. To where you could draw up your design on in whatever you draw it up in, and then you could put it on this AI model right there. I mean you're knocking out. You're knocking out this. You're knocking out now. With that, you're taking away multiple jobs, because now you're taking away jobs from seamstress and from tailors that would normally put that piece together for you and then put it on a model. You could do it all in with AI
in minutes.
And then and display it and have a virtual runway show of whatever it is you design. So now Versace can have a whole virtual show.
I sure hope the AI designers do better, because these regular designers are just terrible. Jesus.
Hold on now. Wait a minute. We can't come.
I'm talking about some of these. I'm talking about these cats like Kanye West and and what these guys that got people walking out in garbage bags.
I saw a fashion show
literally a garbage bag.
Oh, listen. Okay, but listen.
Go ahead.
Listen, it's the same thing I say about New York. I'm not from New York. I'm from Detroit. My dad was from the Bronx, but I lived in the Bronx for a little bit. And during my time, because I lived in New York in my early 20s, during my time living out there, I kind of got to see what my mama said. So my dad, back when they were dating, he took her out to New York to visit. And my mom was like, when we got older, she was telling us stories about it. She was like, I had never go to New York again. She was like, it was rats and roaches everywhere. And my thing to her, what I told her and I tell everybody else, in order to appreciate art, or in order to appreciate New York, you have to be able to appreciate art. And when I see New York, do I see the rats and the roaches? I do, but I also see art. I see the beauty of it.
Oh yeah.
And so when it comes to looking at fashion, you have to be able to see the beauty of it. Like, you might see a trash bag, but
a beautiful trash bag. Yeah.
That's a new one. Right now. That's a new one.
A new one. A beautiful trash bag. I'm gonna tell you.
What's the saying? What's one man's trash is another man's treasure. So you just have to be able to.
Well, art, fashion is art, and art is subjective, right?
Exactly.
It's subjective. See? I mean, now I'm gonna be honest with you. I remember when I was in school and I had to take art history, right? And art history, I hated art history. And I aced the class because I just needed to ace the class. But I am not with all of that. This looks like it could be intuitive. And I'm like, no, this looks like a freaking spot of ink on the wall. That's what it is. I don't want to hear it could be a flower. It could be.
It is not a spot on the wall, damn it. It is art.
And I was like, look, I'm an ace this class because I'm trying to keep a certain GPA, but this is BS to me. I was like, look,
and that's why art is subjective.
Yeah, it's subjective. But my subjectiveness to it is
it has an acquired.
There's a certain type of art that I obviously do like. Mine is more modern art.
It's a soup can. That's all it is. It's a soup can.
It's not. It's the gates of hell. Or it's it's.
But here's the thing, though. But even with that, but okay, Wes. But even with that, let's take it from a photographer's standpoint. Yeah. Now you sit down. Now you did that with me. I sent you a picture. I sent you a picture of me to post up on our main advertisement thing.
Our deck. Our pitch deck.
For our deck. Yeah, pitch deck for Real Talk. Mm-hmm. And I sent you a picture. You was like, Kevin, tell us this. Get me a picture from a real photographer. You want me to take a picture of you or get something. And I was like, no. And then I remembered. I was like, oh yeah, old girl took pictures of me from that contest that I won. And I sent you the pictures, and you immediately said, oh my God, who took these pictures? Is that the field? Now I understood what you was, because I took photography, so I understood what you was talking about. But versus my Long Island Railroad picture and the picture the old girl took, you was like, you called my shit trash. Her stuff, you looked at her pictures, you was like, oh my God. And that's good. Boy, I almost told you, did you want to buy it? You just went in with compliments of our work.
Wow.
I swear to God, Ralph, he was like,
I loved
the
it.
depth of field is good. Take a picture, it lasts a lifetime.
Yeah,
it lasts longer.
That's good though. But see, with a picture though, Kev, it is still what it is. That picture, everything visually in it looked good. You looked good. The background looked good. Everything about it looked good, right? So the type of art I'm into is that type of art that's literally what it is, like modern art, obviously like paintings, but I like artists, even just any type of like art, like drawing. I don't draw at all. I mean, anyone who could draw, I'm amazed by. But I would spend money on art that's like the type of art like how Mike Newton did, where he could draw art that looks like you. Like I like that type of art. Like if someone draws a woman in their abstract way of drawing a woman, if I look at it and be like, that don't look like no woman, I'm not buying it. You know what I'm saying? They're like, this is Beyonce sashaying across the lily fields. Like, no, that is some lopsided ass person with a bunch of black ink. Beyonce ain't that dark. That's not Beyonce. Yeah. But I'm just using,
a little too much to drink, got real crazy with the paintbrush.
Like, hey,
but you know what? But here's the thing: that them getting really drunk like that drawing could end up cashing them in for $500,000, and
I mean, hey, there's people that buy it, so more power to them.
Yeah, that's true.
I just won't buy it. That's all I'm saying. I don't look at it. So yeah, so back to the fashion. I think that I like to see something that actually looks pleasant. I'm not. And then the fact that they charge so much money for it, it's like
now that I have to agree with you on.
Oh, this is couture. That's not couture. That's garbage.
But here's the thing. Unfortunately, there's two sides to fashion. There's fashion itself. Well, I should say three sides, in my opinion. There's three sides to fashion. There's fashion for the normal consumer. There's fashion for the rich and the people who have money, and
then
the
there's
people
that's just following trends. Then there's
and then there's the art aspect to it, which is what some creators do. Some creators have pieces that are just meant for art. They're not even meant for the body to be worn. Unfortunately, what you have is a small few that'll take couture and they'll take stuff like that, and then they'll try to move it down to the market of somebody to buy it and for it to be sold. This is why the homegirl, that actress, that English actress or whoever she was, and homeboy that started off the Birkin bag. The Birkin bag started off this guy. The lady said she wanted a bag to be able to carry all of her stuff because her bag was too small, and he made the bags for her.
Yeah.
You know,
but then it also becomes a trend. People with money, it becomes a trend. You know, I have to get a Birkin bag. Why? Because everyone else has one, or because
they have to get a Birkin bag because it's getting a Birkin bag is a wealth symbol. It's showing off that look. I got $15,000 of blow on a bag, and here's what I think. Now I don't mind that for women. If that's what women want to do, you want to take out a mortgage on your house to get a bag, do you? As long as your financial shit is in order, do you? But if you're a dude, why are you? If you don't have a wife, you should not have a. I'm sorry, unless you're gay, and that's your thing. But if you're a regular everyday Joe, why do you have a Birkin bag? That's not a dude. That's not built for a man. You got the same bag your wife got, carrying your stuff in it.
I got a nice backpack that can hold my laptop, can hold my wallet. I get a backpack, man. That's what it is. That's funny.
Start your own company making designer bags for men that men can carry their stuff in.
Right.
All of this with men being, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to shift the conversation.
Yeah,
but
that's not.
All of this in the fashion world, all of this men now, and Ry, I know you know what I'm talking about. All of this men being in competition with women now and listen. As a man, Wes, and you know me, I love the dress. I gotta be fly. Every time I go out, I gotta be fly to some extent. You know, I always gotta coordinate. I gotta be looking good. If I got a girl, I gotta be extra fly because I'm with her and I'm representing her.
Gotta match
so every time somebody, I gotta match her fly. Right. And it's at the very least, so when people talk about it, be like, yo, her man looks good. Like, yo, they look good together. Like, I like not like, oh damn, yo, why she bring her trash bag out to her? Jesus Christ.
The trash, back to the trash bag again. Yeah, I can't do with these. That's all I'm saying. As far as art, it is art, and art is subjective. But I'm like, that is a trash bag, and I can get that at BJ's or I can get that at Sam's Club. A whole big old box of it for $20.
Get some Gorilla Glue and some scissors,
right?
And hook it up.
You're trying to
Listen, Gorilla Glue. Gorilla Glue will hold them seams together.
I know what it'll do. Have you seen? I know what it'll do. Did you see the girl that put the Gorilla Glue in her hair? I know what it'll do. It don't move.
Stupid.
Stupid. She was dumb.
She sure did. She put the Gorilla Glue in her hair. But anyhow,
listen, I didn't even watch that video. As soon as I saw the caption that said Gorilla Glue in hair, I didn't even need to read no more. To see it, I was like, yeah, you're a jackass.
Right. So more wrapping it up. So Roland, you know, obviously this is a ongoing thing, and we'll always continue to keep track of what's going on with the strikes and the this and the that. But so Rolling Stone has been putting out a lot of different lists.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm muting myself.
Yeah, I'm ending the show on this way.
I'm not talking about this.
So Rolling Stone has now put out the 50 greatest superhero movies of all time, right? Where they combine a list, a bunch of them. They do a lot of lists, by the way. They've done the best horror movies of all time. They've done comedies. They've done all types of movies. So this time they put up their list of the best superhero movies of all time. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole 50 because we don't have that much time left in the show, but I'll just briefly go through their top 10 and we'll go from there. But anyhow, so they have number 10. They have listed as The Incredibles. All right, 2004. Number 10 is The Incredibles. Number 9 is Wonder Woman. Number 8 is Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Number 7 is The Dark Knight. Definitely belongs in the top 10, probably a little bit
top 5,
a little bit
top
higher,
2,
like top 5, probably, if not
top 2.
It can arguably be in the top 3, right? So then we have number 6 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, right? Also definitely in my top 10, maybe in my top 5. Superman the movie, number 5. Avengers Endgame, number 4. Logan, number 3. Spider-Man 2, 2004. That's the second Tobey Maguire film. Sam Raimi directed. Is number 2, and they have listed number 1 as Black Panther. R.I.P. to Chadwick Boseman. Now,
originally this list did not look like this.
Originally listed looked like this because they changed it like right under our noses, which I thought was weird but funny at the same time. Originally they had a top 10 that I definitely didn't agree with at all, like at all. They had like oh my, I can't even remember what was in here, but it was some crazy stuff they had.
Yeah, the only thing they got, they had Megamind at like number 5.
They had Megamind at like number 5. Something like it was like in the top 10. I'm like, Megamind?
And then they had, the only thing they got right on that list was they had and I kind of sort of agree with Wes that it shouldn't have been number 1, but it was definitely where it was supposed to be in the top 10. But they had Zack Snyder's Justice League.
They had it at number 1. But yeah. I as much as I love Zack Snyder and love that film, I don't even have it at number 1. But now they got it at number 50. I definitely don't have it at number 50 either. So it's just something that, people, the viewers, if you get a chance to take a look at it, we may post some stuff throughout the week about it. But this list, this inspires Ralph. I see another tournament coming up. We have to do another tournament. This is inspiration. This list, I'd love to flesh out our list of best superhero film. I mean, the fact that Man of Steel is not even on this list, this list is bogus.
Yeah,
this list is bogus. And not only Man of Steel, Batman. Batman 1989 is not on the list. Batman Returns is, but Batman is not on the list.
They did, and at first when they did the first list, I don't even think the first Superman wasn't even on there.
It wasn't Superman in the top 10. The first Superman.
And they had Superman 2 in the top 10, 40.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Was it? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was in the top 40. It was
they
like
got
42.
Batman Returns at 24, and
they changed it.
No, they changed all of them. Everything's got rearranged because the Rocketeer they had at 50, now they got it at 25. Darkman they had a little lower, and then they got it at 26. So they have all 3 Nolan films in here, and yeah, that's what they had. They had Dark Knight Rises in the top 10. I'm like, what? Dark Knight Rises? See, they made a mistake. Now, Dark Knight belongs in there, but not Dark Knight Rises. So, yeah, it's weird. It's one of those things, but I just wanted to bring that up before the end of the show. This is just crazy. It's when I see stuff like this, it's time for us.
Blood pressure.
It's time for us to make our own thing and, get it popping. It's time for us to make
Ralph, we gotta have two. We gotta have two going, Ralph. We need one for the superhero. Yeah, that's your job, bro. He said me. he said that with such surprise. Like, wait a minute, wait a minute. What do you mean me? Me?
We have but
we gotta do that, and we gotta get ready to do our horror one too. We gotta do
the horror one. We'll set up the horror one for the fall when all of the horrors really come crashing in. We can set that up for the early fall, which is right around the corner. Miss Nyree.
Yes, sir.
No, because two of y'all said
Now,
in unison.
Are you gonna join us on one of these? You know, we usually do these tournaments and lists and stuff. We do them. It usually takes about 4 weeks. You don't have to be on every show, but you got to join us for at least one of those shows where we do.
Of course.
Yeah,
I like tripping it up with y'all. I definitely.
Ry, I'm telling you. You will have
a ball.
I wish you would have been on for our theme song one.
Yeah,
you definitely would have been like, what?
You'd have had a blast though, because I'm gonna send you some of the links to that one. We were just, it was fun. We had a lot of fun. I had people texting me saying y'all having too much fun doing this because we was cracking up during that tournament. Yeah, we were going wild because the funny thing is we had some guests with us.
I did get to watch I think it was like the very last one y'all did.
Yeah, you saw us cutting up.
I'm still getting the haters talking about how dare you moonlighting over Fresh Prince. Look.
That's what I said. We got people. It's so funny though, but it's so much fun when we do these tournaments. We've done so far we've done action actors, right? Action heroes or something like that.
Yeah, action heroes. Yeah,
we did we did our TV's hottest female character tournament. That was cool.
And Mama Mama Huxtable won, of course.
Mama Huxtable.
Yeah, when you say Mama Huxtable, it makes her sound so old, bro.
Nah, Mrs.
Okay, Mrs. Huxtable. Oh no, I'm not leaving on one. She's my listen.
But
she deserved it. She deserved it.
She won it. She won it fair and square. But yeah. So we did that, and we just did the theme songs, TV theme songs one, and that one was just hilarious. We just lot of funny things going on. But yeah, the next one we set up, you got to sit in with us at least for one, if not for more than one. But because we have a blast when we do them. But I think seeing these lists inspired me. The horror one is going to be interesting, and then this list here, inspires me to do one of these tournaments. But it should be fun. So now, before we end the show and let you go and stuff, what about your show? Where can we start finding your show? The Rap with Ry.
That's right, the Rap with Ry. So if you all are interested in tuning into my show, the Rap with Ry, it normally airs every Saturday at 1 p.m. So that would actually be, is that 1 p.m.? No, that's 4 p.m. you guys' time. Y'all on the East Coast, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
4 p.m.
So 1
Eastern Standard Time.
Mountain Standard Time, 4 p.m. Standard. So it's called the Rap with Ry podcast. Streaming on like all the major platforms. You got Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, even YouTube. So yeah, it's streaming. It's doing this little thing. It does require subscription. Now it's $5 a month. So if you,
I got now with you saying that, because I was just about to ask. Because I have because I love Christmas music, so I have a Pandora account. Now does I still have to pay the additional $5 for your podcast, even though I have a Pandora account, or does it come with the account?
I believe it comes with the account. Let me double check, but I believe it does come. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, as you saw, I put in the chat room. I don't know if you can see the chat room where you're at. I put in the chat room the rat with Ry, pronounced Ry, R-I-E.
But wait, that's the sad part though, Wes. Have you been on? You've been on my Instagram for my podcast, and it says it on there. It says the rat with Ry, and I have it written on there, pronounced Ry, R-Y-E. You follow me on there.
As in Rye Playland. As in Rye Bread. I used to go to Rye Playland all the time, man. I used to love Rye Playland.
Rye Bread. That's what my mom would tell
Well, Rye, I got a question. I have a very simple question. Since you do a podcast about movies and you're on a podcast movie, what is your favorite movie of all time?
So my podcast is not about movies. It's about everything.
It's just rapping. It's about rap.
I talk about anywhere from music. It's mostly about music, but I talk about anything from music to like lifestyle to just, anything dealing with like women's health, things like that. Even domestic violence awareness, because I had lost my sister to domestic violence. And so every October, I dedicate my show towards domestic violence victims in honor of my sister. So, but yeah.
Well, okay. Well, with that being said, what do you think about the episode with Cardi B? Is she right? Was she right through the microphone, or was she wrong?
Oh no, she should have.
When she threw the water, so I did share that little clip on my. Listen. So okay, I'm gonna tell you. I'm about to keep it completely 1,000 with y'all. Okay.
Go ahead.
So here's my stance on that. While I am 100% an advocate against domestic violence, I am also a pro Malcolm X advocate. Okay,
talk about it.
So this is my thing. I don't believe in no man putting his hands on no woman, even if the woman spit at him. My thing is this: men are stronger than women. Okay, this is what we're told. Men are stronger than women. So men are stronger than women. If a woman put her hands on you, if you have a way to get out, walk away from the situation. Now, if it's a situation where she's doing something to you that she got you back in the corner, you don't have no other way out other than to shove her to get your stuff past her or whatever, completely understandable. But just like what happened with my sister didn't even put her hands on that fool, and he stabbed her 56 times to death, taking the life of her and my niece that she was pregnant with. So, I'm very, it's like a gray area for me, but at the same time, I feel like this: you're not about to spit on me, you're not about to put your hands on me and think that I'm not going to have some type of reflex. Okay, that's something completely different. And for that person to throw that water or whatever they threw up on Cardi B, I think that she was within her right.
Yeah, because that water could have been. It could have been anything. That could have been acid.
Before anybody,
it could have been anything.
That's true. But before it says that, has anybody seen the footage from the last couple of hours where Cardi B was on stage asking people to throw water on her?
Yeah, I understand that, but she wasn't asking them to throw water in her face. She was asking them to throw water on a certain part of her body. She didn't say throw water in my face. So the person threw the water in her face, and that's why she threw the microphone.
And this is my thing too. At the end of the day, we are all humans, whether we celebrities, not celebrities, whatever the case may be. We're all humans. We all have experienced some form of COVID, some form of the pandemic. So you throwing something on me, we about to throw hands, because ain't no way, especially if I got babies to go home to.
Yeah.
No. You're not about to put me at risk or my children.
Yeah, I agree.
I am a survivor of COVID. And Wes, you know all the shit I'm dealing with right now medically, and we're dealing with long COVID in my kidney failure, all that stuff. So just the fact that this dude thought, I don't care what she was on stage saying, just the fact that you thought within yourself, you're gonna take something that you've been sipping out of, and you're gonna throw it at me. let me tell you something.
That could be considered assault now.
Listen, it technically speaking, that it is assault. He or she should have been arrested. So if she wanted to press charges, she could have. But guess what? My aim would have been so accurate with that microphone. They would have thought you was a part of a show.
Yo, no, we need. I swear to you, I'm imploring. We need her on the Mets because we need some pitching right now. She threw a strike, and we need her on the Mets. We got she a left-handed. She threw it left-handed too. If we get a left-handed pitcher on the Mets, it would be great. But yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you because, regardless, not to advocate violence, but that's really self-defense. And yes, I agree, Ralph. I know what you're talking about. She was talking about throwing water on certain part of her body. And that's what it was. She wasn't just saying, hey, everybody throw water at me. That's not what she said. She said, throw water. People would throw it. She's like, yeah, because it was hot, obviously. Oh, just certain parts of her body, she said, throw the water on. So then she goes over to that side of the. It's not like she had her back turned and then turned around. She walks over to that side of the stage, clearly facing the stage. And what happens? They throw the water or whatever that substance is. It could have been gin.
It was water.
It could have been acid. Who knows? But regardless of fact, they threw that in her face and got caught her face. And that's why she reacted and threw the microphone.
Right.
I probably stage dive. I probably would have stage dove,
because
the show would have been over.
Let me tell you something. It would have been now. What he's lucky is that she's not real gully like Monica. Because see, Monica would have got off the stage and would have punched that dude right in the face. Now, Ry, here's this is gonna sound on a sidebar. This is gonna sound. It's not funny, but this is my take on what Cardi did wrong. Cardi should have took off her shoe and threw it at him and not the microphone. I'm only saying this because when she threw the microphone, she messed up her performance because she was singing to a backing track versus her singing live, and her backing track was still going, not started playing.
Yeah, it's still going.
It was still going.
It was still going. Right. She was singing over the record.
But you got to think too. In the heat of the moment, when you angry, you're not thinking about nothing like that. You just instantly, that's your reflex.
No. And I understand that it's a reflex. But I said all that to say is that my disappointment in Cardi is that now I done because I never seen her perform live before. And now that I'm seeing that, and I'm disappointed because I'm like, that's what people are paying to go see. I'm not paying money to go hear you sing to a backing track.
To the record, yeah. I can just play the record.
I want to hear you. If I want to hear the exact record, I can stay at home or go to a club
and save hundreds of dollars.
But honestly, that's how a lot of artists are performing. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Well,
but,
a
lot of artists.
Unfortunately,
I am. But there are a lot of artists who don't do that.
Right.
Because see, I can understand.
There's a difference of performing to a background track and the record.
So let me say this. I feel like the reason behind that, so like with her, even Beyonce, because Beyonce do it too. With her, Beyonce, with the performers who actually like dance while they're singing and stuff like that. That's why they do that, because they don't want the sound to change or be different as they're performing.
Okay, but okay.
That's fair. That's fair.
No, that is fair. But here's the thing. With that, you can see with that, there's two things you can do. You either have a sound man that knows how to switch back and forth between channels, between your live singing and the recorded track, or you pull up Meg Thee Stallion.
You do what Meg Thee Stallion.
And you have a recorded track set up with your performance, so that way while you're performing, your backing track is like your hype man. So as you're performing, it's choreographed
Yeah,
with your
it
choreography.
takes practice. It takes practice, choreography. What Megan Thee Stallion did was she had, instead of just putting on the record and rapping with it, she had a specific mix done that took out her lead vocals but left in her ad lib vocals, so to speak. And she was kind of like rapping with herself almost. And actually, it didn't even take out all the lead vocals. It left some of the lead vocals in because she used that as an opportunity to take a breath because she didn't have anyone else on stage with her. So if she's rapping the lead vocals and maybe the last 2 words of that line she was put back into the song, she wouldn't rap at that point. She'd drop the mic and let that go, or let the crowd rap with her, which actually is the right thing to do. And I'll say this before we wrap it up. Michael Jackson, the biggest entertainer in the world, did pre-recorded tracks. But what Kev was talking about is he had specific sound guys that switched him back and forth. He would sing live to some degree. And like what Ry was saying about dancing and stuff like that, yes, that's when the pre-recorded track would kick in, and he's kind of like lip singing at that point and dancing. But then his sound guy would switch, and he would start singing live on certain parts where if he's not dancing, especially as he got older. When Michael Jackson was younger, he did not use a pre-recorded track. He sang
He didn't
live.
need it.
Everything live.
Right. He sang live.
Prince did not.
Prince
use
never did it. Prince never
did
did that. You know what I'm saying? Prince never did it. I've went to 4 or 5 Prince concerts in my life. Prince never did anything like that. And there's a lot of artists that won't.
Prince is up there remixing his stuff live on stage.
Right, exactly. They feel like you cheating.
but here's I guess my major point for Cardi is get a better sound guy, because when she threw that mic, the person who was in control of her backing track should have stopped the music right then and there.
Because now you looking like Milli Vanilli.
Yeah, exactly.
Girl, you know it's girl, you know it's girl, you know it's girl, you know it's.
Now Ashley Simpson. See, this my thing with at first I was all for Cardi B. I was like, yo, that was wrong. But you're up there asking people to throw water at you. And I
get it right, Ralph.
Wait.
She's not asking people to just throw water.
Wait a minute. I get what you're saying. She didn't expect someone to throw water at her face. I got that one. However, once you open that, nowadays, when you open that gate, it starts to flood.
But that's not her fault that people can't follow instructions.
That is her fault. You should
not her fault.
It is her fault. You should not.
If you
should
not
not do it. You
should. That's not my fault. You're an idiot. You have to follow instructions.
Certain instructions, yes, but when that kind of thing, that's a different story. No, you don't get that kind of power to an audience. Like, well, throw some water up at me, hit my body because it's hot out here. Because you do have morons out there. You are inviting someone to do something stupid.
I don't really. I disagree with that, and that doesn't mean.
Listen. I saw
hit in the face. Yeah, and that, like I said, that doesn't mean that she shouldn't have reacted to someone hitting her in the face, because it's, once again, that's not what I asked for. That's not what I said. And that's not what I said. You threw it in my face to be an idiot. So what's Kev's favorite line? You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. It's simple. So
don't write a check that your ass can't cash.
Exactly.
But whereas, Ralph, I'm not saying you're wrong. Maybe she should have just left that all together. But and also in closing on that, what is with these people today? Forget about that incident. Why are people throwing stuff?
People just comfortable doing stuff.
They're throwing. Harry Styles got hit with a cell phone in his face.
I'll answer that question. No, I'll answer that question, because now we live in this whole I gotta have a selfie. I want this memory, and people and artists started doing this where they was like Mass on the News right now, Cardi B, where like someone is performing on stage and it's like a break in between the singing and just music playing, and they say, "Oh, I want to get a picture," and they say, "Give me the cell phone," and they toss it up when they take a picture with themselves and they throw it back. But once again, now it has gotten out of hand. It's gotten out of hand.
But so let's use that as an example though, Ralph. So if someone stops the show, goes over to a fan, takes their phone, takes a selfie, and gives the fan back, gives the cell phone back to them, is that inviting people to hit you in the face with a cell phone?
I'll you know what? No, it's not. I'll answer that same question because when my boys do shows, like they'll do that thing. But I have been to shows where, like Alicia, for example, she has done her show with actually gone in a stage, right? And people have been, she shake people's hands, whatever, and she'll take a selfie with someone. She'll go like this and take a selfie, and someone will come and grab her. And you got to have security coming down there and then grab it because certain things you kind of sort of invite people to go.
Nah, that's not inviting, Ralph. So that's not inviting.
No. Listen to the context. You kind of invite it because they're thinking, oh, well, if you was cool to turn around and take the selfie with this person, maybe I could get a quick hug out of you. I'm not trying to hurt you, man. I could get a quick hug out of you, right? So now she doesn't do that anymore because why take what cost?
No, yeah, I know fans do a lot of things. I mean, look at Beyonce. I give Beyonce credit. There's a couple times there's a cat done smacked her ass. This cat and you know she was just walking by and dude smacked her ass.
And where was Jay-Z when this happened?
Yeah, probably backstage counting money.
So, and think about that. Beyonce was in New York and she was in Jersey last night. Yeah. That stage format where she actually had a ramp that goes out into the crowd. Yeah, I don't think she does that anymore.
But she's not going to. And this is where it's going. I'm gonna tell you this right now. You heard it right here first on Real Talk. Once this continues, because it's not gonna stop. Now you're gonna ruin. These few idiots are going to ruin the fan experience because they're gonna start performing with plexiglass in front of the stage before long, or some sort of cage or something that keeps the fans away from. Now they'll no longer be able to be interactive with the fans, because guess what? I'm not going on stage. You know, if I'm Harry Styles, I'll be like, listen, I'm not going on stage no more. Idiots are throwing cell phones, and he could have took his eye out. And people getting hit in the face. So you have to put
it's already a 5-foot barrier.
Right. Yeah. Like exactly. That's why they're throwing it. That's why they have to throw it. So now they're going to start putting up, you heard it here first. I guarantee you, if this continues, they're going to start putting up clear plexiglass or something like that. And now the fans are going to feel really disconnected.
Isolated, because the performers are going to be behind
some sort of screen. Some sort of, and it's just terrible. But
if not, they'll be performing someplace inside. And you'll be watching them on one of those big LED
so you'll be paying hundreds of dollars to go watch it on TV, basically. So, you know, that's and guess what? It'll serve. It won't. It's unfair. It's unfair to the fans that a few idiots, just like the few bad apples spoiling the bunch, the few idiots is going to ruin the human experience and the fan experience of getting an opportunity to touch your favorite, or come close to them, interact with your favorite artist.
And here enters AI, because now it's like, okay, you fans don't want to act
holograms.
Right. Okay, here's an artificial intelligence.
We're gonna start doing holograms and AI. So that's a perfect way to close the show. We definitely shout out to everybody in the chat room that participated. Shout out to our co-host of the night, Miss Ry, spelled R-Y-E. That's not spelled that way, but pronounced. Pronounced R-Y-E, pronounced, but it's R-Y. Thanks for joining us.
Lord.
I know. I'm struggling with this. Trust me. I'm gonna have to start saying, Ry Playland. Tuna on Ry.
That's all you got to do.
Tuna on Ry.
Hold up now.
Oh, tuna, yeah. You said pastrami, maybe. Tuna,
what do you mean? Tuna is awesome. What the hell are you talking about?
Hold on. Not on Ry.
She said he said
Pastrami, yes.
pastrami or rye. Get out of
Hold
here.
up, pastrami. Y'all got me messed up. You know what? I ain't coming back.
We love you. We love you. But thank you for joining us. And please feel free to come back whenever you like. Just tell me, Wes, I'm coming back. All right, cool. We'll put you in. That's how
you
it
know,
goes.
I don't mind coming back. I had a ball with y'all tonight. This was awesome. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
So you weren't bored at any point?
No,
No.
not at all.
Yeah.
We talk about interesting topics, things that I actually talk about on my show from time to time. So no,
That's
not
what's
at all.
up. Yeah, we're gonna everybody make sure they tune in with the rap with Ry.
Yeah, we would love to cross pollinate.
It's on what's it on
Yeah,
Saturdays?
come
You
on your
said
show Saturday, 1:00.
Saturdays at 1:00
say it again.
Eastern, 1:00 Pacific time, and 4:00 Eastern Standard Time.
Yep.
Yes.
Perfect.
I would love
Catch
to
it on
cross-pollinate.
anywhere and everywhere streaming goes. Spotify and all of those other cats. Everyone's you said Apple. Did you say Apple Music too?
Apple Podcasts, yep.
Yeah, Apple
iHeart,
Podcast,
Pandora, all of that.
iHeartRadio, Pandora. So no excuse, people. You can't have no excuse. Check it out. All right, that's cool.
$5 a month.
That's cool. So for
wow.
everybody, we'll definitely continue to promote that and promote your show. We appreciate you coming on with us.
Appreciate y'all. Peace out. I appreciate the love.
All right.
Good night. Thanks for coming on.
Miss Nyree in the building. All righty. Yeah, so there you go, man. And on that note, we're also gonna end the show. But yeah, man, that was cool. She's funny. She's cool people. She was actually I did a speaking of domestic violence awareness, I did like a meet and greet type of deal when I did this video for the artist Jamela, which was raising domestic violence awareness. And we had Ry come and moderate. We had like we had the cast and crew come back and talk about all of this stuff. This was during October, which is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So we did that. So that was cool. She was real cool to come and do that. Her and her mother showed up to do it, who are huge, as she said. They're advocates, obviously, for raising awareness because her mother lost her daughter as she lost her sister to domestic violence. So, yeah, it's really
hard. That
was rough,
horrible,
rough thing. And when when they first told me the story, same deal. I'm like, wow, you don't even know how to process that. So you have to give them credit for being strong women to be able to endure that, because you don't even know how to process that as a outsider even. So you know what I mean? So an insider has to be a strong person to even survive that. Let's be honest. Come out of it with your anything. So, but yeah, she hosted that for me, and it was cool. And we've been rocking, on Facebook and rocking with each other ever since. So I really, once I heard she did her own show, I'm like, oh, so I knew automatically she wouldn't be afraid to come on the show. She has experience, stuff like that. So it was good to have her. We'll bring her back through one of our tournaments, and we'll set that up. So anyway, we're off the air now. We're about to be. Everybody, peace out. Have a good one. Don't forget about us, and sha-na-na-na.